You served for 13 years as the director of the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library. I was speaking about this a little earlier with some of my colleagues. Can you tell us, now that he's in heaven, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Can you tell us something that most Americans don't know about President Carter?
Well, he was very unusual. I mean, when I first met him early in the campaign, he would ask questions like, Jay, how did the last campaign affect your marriage? Or he noticed a noise in my engine that didn't sound right. He said, you need to get that checked out. And I didn't get it checked out. And 2 weeks later, it totaled. It was a total loss. I should have listened to him. But he was a genius. I mean, he was trained as a nuclear engineer, helped develop the nuclear subs. And I guess the other thing that might be a lesson for everybody, particularly if there are any kids listening, when Carter had a meeting, he would always get briefing papers. And he would actually read them and study them. And so when he went into a meeting with anybody or on any subject, he was briefed for that meeting. And it was just tremendous preparation. And a few times I had written the papers and he just didn't read them off, but he used them as the basis of understanding what was going on and articulating it in whatever time was available. So I think the fact that he was somebody, when he was in school and as president and as post-president, boy, if you went before him and made a presentation, you better be pretty well prepared yourself, because he was going to be asking you very probing questions. And that's what you would want from a leader.
And as you described him, super attentive, even to the point of, getting into the minutia of things and conversations and people. And you talked about his stubbornness. I was asking earlier about the fact that Rosalind had mentioned how some people took him for granted. You called him a genius. Maybe just speak to, the Jimmy that you saw who wasn't Jimmy for the camera, but was that, dogged, sharp-eyed lion of a man who was determined to get some of those unpopular policies done, whether people liked them or not.
Yeah, I found with him that even though he was initially stubborn, that if you differed with him, you could, work it out. I wouldn't, particularly when he was president, but even as post-president, you wouldn't in a meeting stand up and disagree with him. Only Rosalind was allowed to.
Only Rosalind was allowed to disagree with him?
Oh, yeah. I was in meetings with, fairly large number of people, and he'd say something from the podium, and she would stand up in the audience and kind of correct him.
Oh, wow.
Nobody else would do that in a public setting like that, among his supporters or family. But I guess, in terms of your question, their marriage certainly was a very unique thing. I mean, they were both very strong-willed people. And you couldn't imagine either one of them being married to somebody else because, as I say, she would actually stand up in public and correct him. If you view their two biographies, he wrote a memoir of the White House, and it's a little bit dry, but it gives you the inside scoop of everything he was working on, and I think it's very worth reading. But if you read her memoir from the White House, it's got a lot of more sort of juicy observations in it. So they were this excellent couple, and they both brought different skills to the table. She was more political than he was. He didn't like he would do the political stuff because he knew you had to do that to govern, but it wasn't his first choice. And one time I was in a meeting with him on the 1980 campaign, and he was very confident he was going to beat Senator Kennedy in the primary challenge. But she walked in the room and she had a pad of paper and she wanted to get the names and the phone numbers that she was supposed to call and hark back to her day's campaign in Florida. So if you're looking for someone who is more what we think of in terms of a political person, that was Rosalind. But he was a big thinker. He was a good politician when he had to be.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.